Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy, 888-926-7562, 404-603-8770. We must remember to send the athletic director, Sterling Stewart, his T-shirt from Savannah.
So he can quit crying about it.
Stop yelling at us like we in the principal's office.
Gee, guys, I didn't get my T-shirt. You want a cheerleading competition, dude? We'll send you a half shirt.
The NBA had its All-Star weekend this past weekend. Some of the games for the NBA will start kicking off here today or tomorrow. But if you got to catch the game, you probably turned like me. But the All-Star festivities on Saturday are still kind of entertaining. The shoot-around, things like that. The dunk contest was weak. But the best part of the weekend, in my opinion, was the tribute to Craig Sager and how they called all the players out. And whoever hits a three, they donated $10,000 for each three that was made. In that 1 minute, only 13 threes were made. So they gave Steph Curry a chance to hit a half-court shot for another $300,000 or $400,000. He missed. He almost hit one of them. Mm-hmm. And then Shaq brought a little kid out to dunk the ball. So they gave $500,000 to the Craig Sager Foundation.
Awesome.
Someone that we have on our show before is Mr. Sager's son, Craig Sager Jr. Good morning to you, Craig.
Good morning, guys.
Glad you could take the time to call in. My first question is, has the NBA or has the All-Star Hall of Fame called to maybe put one of your dad's suits in the Hall of Fame? Because I know that would just be at the front door for me, Big Kenny, one of Craig Sager's suits.
Yeah,
has that happened, Craig?
You know what? I think there actually is one of his suits in there for something. I can't remember what it was, but I'm sure. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Hold on one sec. All right. But I know that my dad has a lot of suits right now, and that's one of the big questions, because back in the day, he used to just donate them to Goodwill when he was done. And I don't know who needs a green suit, but
there's somebody out there need a green suit, though, Craig. Somebody looking for one right now.
I know. But there's a lot that can be done with those. There's a lot of just silent auctions, maybe a hospital that wants to put a Craig Sager suit in there, maybe make someone smile. So I just want to make sure that all those suits just go to the right cause. So we will see where they head. I definitely don't need too many of them. I kind of just want to pick out my favorites and have those and just let people enjoy the rest.
Now, with the sad, I mean, it's sad that I'm sorry that your father passed, but I'm one of those people. It's not how long you live, it's how you live. And have you been so surprised by how much love everybody has for your dad?
Yeah, I think that when he was here, I used to always worry that people didn't really understand him. Telling him that your dad's the guy that does sideline interviews and wears crazy suits only goes so far. And there was so much to my dad that I just have never seen in anyone else. I think that we live in a world where everyone is always trying to find themselves. But what he taught me was what you do is you create yourself. And that is what he did every single day. And he was always evolving. He was always just looking for the next opportunity. And I wanted people to know that it was his mindset that made him different. And to see that people that didn't even meet him or people that met him just one time appreciated the same things I did was definitely pretty special.
Yeah, I know when I became a ticket holder over with the Hawks and I go out to games, it was always fun to see, hey, man, that's Craig Sager. You know, right. And it was, as his son is saying, very interesting how iconic of a figure he became just for being Craig Sager on the sideline. Your brother Ryan is the young man that Shaq picked up to dunk the ball. Did your family have any idea that the NBA was going to do this at halftime?
All right. I'm going to try to it was a bittersweet moment. Let's just put it that way. I'm very encouraged by how much the NBA was able to do this weekend. I love it. I love the fundraising, but I was never informed of any of it. And that's just the way it is. I come from a divorced family, and I'm just going to be real. I've been treated like the stepchild my entire life. I have forced myself into the narrative and done whatever I could to be the best son, and I will continue to do that. But I thought it was pretty crappy that I didn't need to go, but it would have been nice to say, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're thinking about you. I know that's not in an employee's contract. You usually contact the spouse, but, I mean, my dad was there for a long time. This is family, so I'm a little disappointed, and there's a couple people I want to look in the eye.
Craig, good morning. This is Big Kenny. Now that you yourself are a broadcaster and your father has left such a monumental legacy to broadcasting the NBA, do you feel any pressure to reach the heights that he reached as a broadcaster or supersede them?
I think there's ways to supersede him. He obviously reached the pinnacle in his era, his time, but right now it's an interesting situation for me because I look around and, yes, there's some incredible journalists, there's some incredible reporters, but I also look around and I say, I can't think of a profession that requires less skill right now than journalists. And it's because, for some reason, we stopped being detectives. There's too many people that are just showing up places, asking other people what's going on, asking the doctors, asking the athletes, asking the coaches what's going on, and no one's trying to find the answers themselves. The foxes are guarding the hen house. And to be a journalist, you have to know how to use words. You have to know how to see the big picture, to connect the dots, to be creative. And it's a skill that I know I wasn't taught enough at UGA. I would love to go back there and talk to some of those classes. But I feel like today's journalists think that it's changed so much. It's social media now. You don't really need those types of skills that used to be cherished in the field, and it's kind of disappointing. So I would strongly consider stepping away from sports and trying to be a real journalist, because I think that's just something that would make me a lot happier and I'm all about learning and getting answers. So,
well, Craig, would you say that stems from how, it's like sports and television have kind of gotten in bed together, and that is what's caused that rift in that need for the true journalist?
Absolutely. And that's the thing. It's like that in not just sports. It's all journalism right now, but sports especially. I think that right now athletes can kind of write their own narratives. They have their own platform. Teams have their own platform, and we're really just getting pushed to the side. So we need to develop the skills to actually be able to tell real stories and be detectives, be personable, bring something new to the table, because I just look around and it's just, I can't think of a profession that would require less skill than a lot of my counterparts.
Craig, wanted to say congratulations. Your father was inducted to the Hall of Fame this weekend here, the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame, and you went and you received that. That was a great honor because of all the things that he's done here in Georgia. And one thing, when I was understanding your dad, I had picked something up that when he was at MD Anderson, he used to go and play with the kids over in the kids wing while he was in Houston. And I had a friend of mine who worked there, and she told me that he actually would give the kids interviews on the sideline like they were sideline reporters. Was that did he do that? Was he doing that a lot? Was that fun to see? Did he really enjoy that moment with the kids over there?
Yes, he was great with everyone. Always so positive, and actually, this year, I'm not sure what the exact month is, but MD Anderson is going to, for their kids section of the hospital, they're going to make a basketball court.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously going to be colorful and all that, and they're going to name it after my dad. So that's going to be very special to have a piece of him there that kids can come and enjoy. So I'm very excited about that. And back to the Atlanta Hall of Fame, that was a very special occasion for our family. I know my dad is now known for the NBA, and he's obviously reached a much bigger scale than just Atlanta, but looking back on how Atlanta found him, how he found Atlanta, it really is an incredible story. He started in St. Petersburg, Tampa, just applied for a weatherman position. And this was a year after he ran on the field as a 22-year-old to interview Hank Aaron. So even though that moment was so big and that interview's now in the Hall of Fame, he couldn't find a job after that. And so he just went to a thrift shop, bought a seersucker suit and a old weather book, memorized the terms, and became a weatherman. So he did that he faked it till he made it. So he did that for a year. Then he took a sports director job in Fort Myers. Then the Kansas City Royals did their spring training in Fort Myers. So he started covering the Royals. Then he networked his way to Kansas City. Then in 1980, CNN launched in Atlanta, and the first ever remote broadcast they did for sports was the Yankees-Royals series. And the Major League Baseball denied them credentials. They said they weren't an accredited network and never would be. They said that about CNN. And so Ted Turner didn't take no for an answer either, called the Royals, asked if they had anyone that would be able to do these post-game bits. They referred to Craig Sager. My dad would do it for KNBC, then CNN. CNN called him to Atlanta 5 months later, and he became employee number 343. So my dad is just a guy that would always look for the next opportunity and was always in the right place at the right time. And for him to just use stepping stones his whole career, but then find a home in Atlanta, I'm glad that he's being honored by this city.
Well, thank you, Craig, for calling in and helping us out with the show. And I'm going to have to stop by and pick up one of them green suits from you. Just put in my trophy room.
Yeah, green's definitely the most random color you can wear in the suit, I'm pretty sure.
Craig Sager Jr. We'll be back with more of the Sports Joc Show right after this.